talking about space, right? Well, Grayson, explain the relationship here, because we know you're with Hillsborough County Schools. We love having you, but we are talking about space today.
Yeah, so before I got the privilege of being with Hillsborough County Public Schools and talking about the great things our school district's doing, I was a news reporter covering the space program. So I did that for years, and this week marks the 50th anniversary of the first moon landing, the Apollo mission that sent Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin to the moon. And you would be surprised how that still connects to our lives. So I figured it makes sense to come on here through our partnership with Tampa Bay Parenting and talk about what we created for Tampa Bay Parenting, which is a feature in this month's issue that talks about ways that you can get your kids excited about space, ways you can wow them with space.
And Grayson, father to two.
Father to 5 and 7-year-old boys. Man, I got space all day and all night. And we love it, though. So one of the cool ways you can connect them is through your phone, through apps. There's actually an app out there called Starlight. You can download this, and when you hold your phone up to the sky, it actually lays out all the different constellations, what stars and planets you're looking for. Starlight. Another great app to get is the ISS Spotter. The International Space Station right now is flying around the Earth over our heads, and there are people living on it. And if you put where you live into this app, it'll tell you times so you can go outside and watch the space station fly overhead. Wow. Very cool thing to do. In fact, it's flying over Tampa Bay pretty much all this week, so there are opportunities in the morning and evening to watch it. Then the other app, actually, if you want to spend some time with your kid, don't hand them the phone, but actually do something with them, download the NASA app, the official NASA app. They've got all these old pictures of and videos of rocket launches and space shuttle missions. So those are cool ways to get your kids wowed by space. Another great way to do it, Mosey and the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. Now, I used to work at Mosey, so I could say nice things about Mosey.
That's when we knew Grayson was when he was with Mosey. Now he's, of course, switched jobs, but the love is still there.
A road trip will get you going. Mosey has a cool exhibit right now about the Apollo missions to the moon, and then the Kennedy Space Center. If you haven't been there in a while, it's only about 2.5 hours away. It is worth the drive, even with a 5 and 7-year-old in the car. Because when you get there, it's really an experience.
What about a 2.5-year-old?
2.5-year-old? Yeah, you could make it there.
You think?
Time it around an hour.
What ages do you recommend going over to Kennedy?
I would say pretty much once you're above 3 or 4, if they're interested in rockets and stuff, they're going to have a good time. Right when you go in, there's a big play climbing area. You can spend an hour there, then check out the different rockets and missions. It's really cool what they've done at the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex.
Well, of course, you touched on the Apollo as well, and that's kind of what kicked all of this off. But you did bring some. What do we have here? I'm very confused at what this is.
I did. So these are cool ways that connect Tampa Bay to the space program.
Oh.
These are all things that were invented for the moon mission 50 years ago. Cordless power tools. There was nowhere to plug in on the moon, so they needed to invent cordless tools.
I thought you were just going to do some work around the set. I had no idea that there was reason behind it.
You guys keep it up very nice here. There's no need for that. But yeah, cordless power tools invented for the moon mission. Digital cameras. Believe it or not, when you send a spacecraft to take pictures of the moon, there's no way to get film from those things. So they had to come up with a way to send pictures digitally, digital cameras. And this is actually a scan of the inside of my skull. But MRIs,
We're getting to know Grayson very well today.
Yes, and my sinuses.
Of course.
MRIs, which are saving lives every day, were actually invented for the space program. They were invented to scan rocket parts to see if they were damaged, to use magnets to look inside. And so, and since I'm with Hillsborough County Public Schools, I do have to say, if you want to connect with the space program, one of the best ways is to get into a STEM program for your kids. In every neighborhood in Tampa Bay, there's a nearby one. We have more than 30 programs just in Hillsborough County Public Schools. So go online, search for cool schools, because you can really get your kids excited. And if you're in Pinellas County, here's a school to consider, Clearwater High School. Get this, not 1, but 2 astronauts went to Clearwater High School, that one high school alone. Bruce Melnick, who flew on the space shuttle, and Nicole Stott, who flew on the space shuttle and lived on the space station. And I know there are a lot of great moms and dads out there watching. Try doing this if you're a mom. While she lived on the space station for 3 months, she would take a break each night and call home to help tuck her son into bed, because he was in elementary school at the time.
I love that. And of course, you get this information and more in Tampa Bay Parenting.
Absolutely.
Good stuff. Thank you so much for joining us.